Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are in the world. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just going to be talking about some updates that KDP has released regarding AI content, AI generated content, and how much in the way that you would now state that your book is a low content book, you also need to declare whether your book has any AI generated content. Now, take note, that does not mean you cannot use AI generated content. So I'm going to be going over exactly what Amazon does say and my opinions on it personally and what I'm going to be doing going forward. So there are a few places that Amazon have mentioned the AI content, and one place is actually the Amazon community. So as it says here, we're actively monitoring the rapid evolution of this morning, AI and the impact it's having on reading, writing, and publishing, and we remain committed to providing the best possible shopping, reading, and publishing experience for our authors and customers. Now, reading between the lines there, remember they're talking about quality and also customer experience, which is one of their number one priorities. They also want to make sure that nothing is plagiarized, that nothing is copyrighted. So to that end, beginning today, when you publish a new title or make edits and republish an existing title through KDP, you will be asked whether your content is AI generated. Look at how we define AI generated content. I'll go over that in a second. As always, whether publishers make use of AI technologies or not, all books in our store must adhere to KDP content guidelines. So that's the primary thing. They're not saying don't use AI generated content. They're not saying that whatsoever. They're just saying if you are using it, please declare it and also make sure that it adheres to the guidelines, including the requirement that you accurately inform us when your content is AI generated. We will continue to keep the interests of authors, publishers, and readers at the forefront of our thinking and decision making. Okay? Reading between the lines, they're basically just saying you need to declare whether it's AI generated and it needs to be of good quality. It needs to not be plagiarized. So when you upload your book now, on the second page, there is this section here that says AI generated content, and it's asking if you created AI tools to create the text, images, and or translations in your book. And you can say yes, some sections with minimal or no editing, some sections with extensive editing, entire work with minimal or no editing, entire work with extensive editing. You need to disclose this, and they distinguish as well between AI generated and AI assisted. We define AI generated as text, images, or translations created by an AI based tool. If you use an AI based tool to create actual content, whether text, images, or translations, it is considered AI generated, even if you applied substantial edits afterwards. So an example of this is going to be something like a colouring page. If you created a colouring book primarily just with Midjourney, even if you edit it, it's going to be classed as AI generated. However, if you generated content yourself and used an AI-based tools to edit, refine, or error check, or otherwise improve that content, whether text or images, then it is considered AI assisted. So I think there's a little bit of a grey area here. So, for example, if you wrote a children's book, and then asked ChatGPT to improve it, then I believe that would be AI assisted rather than AI generated if you actually wrote that content and then just asked for it to be refined or improved. And you do not need to tell Amazon about that. It says you are responsible for verifying that AI generated and or AI assisted content adheres to all content guidelines. To confirm an AI based tool did not create content based on copywriting works, you are required to review and edit any AI tool outputs. So my feeling is when you declare your book has some AI generated content, it's going to go through additional checks. And that might be for quality issues, it might be for copyright and plagiarism. We don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, but I'm guessing that some of that is the case. So you need to make sure that if you're creating a colouring book, for example, it is of high quality. It's not just grayscale, blurry. Your animals are accurate. They don't have sort of extra limbs. So I was doing some bugs recently that meant to have 6 legs, and Midjourney kept doing them with 8. You need to just double check as well. I think a lot of people, when they're rushing these things, they just, spout out these images, don't really pay much attention to editing them or making sure that they are accurate or that they are good quality, and then we'll just stick them in a colouring book and sell them. I would recommend, if you have any books you're just not happy with in that sense, or if you have books like that that have bad reviews, to unpublish them. What Amazon have done is really just what a lot of platforms have already done, and that is to ask people to declare that they are using AI generated content. For example, Creative Fabrica is one of the companies that you can actually upload AI Clipart to Creative Fabrica to sell, but you need to specify that it's AI generated. They don't have anything against it whatsoever. In fact, they encourage it. They have a whole section for AI generated art, and they even have a tool themselves that you can use to create AI generated art. But you do need to specify it. The problem comes in that I've seen a lot of content on Creative Fabrica, on Etsy, and so on that don't specify it at all. So this is where another problem comes in, because lots of people are going to be downloading AI generated clip art to use in their KDP books or for other means, and they won't actually know it's AI generated. That is because some people have intentionally not labeled their work as AI, and they've just put it as an illustration when it clearly is. And even if you do say it in the description, a lot of people just do not read the information about the images on there. They don't read the small print. You know, a lot of people would just say, oh, right, it's clip art for commercial use, whatever, download it, and that's it. So when it comes to this, a lot of people are not going to say that the images are AI generated because they just don't know that they are. So I think that's one of the main issues, is that a lot of people may be using AI generated images that they get from places like Creative Fabrica, Etsy, Canva, and they don't actually realize. So let's say you are using one-off hue with minimal or no editing, it then actually asks you what tools you are using specifically. The problem that you're going to have here is, like I was saying, if you get clip art or things from other outside sources, and you may not know obviously how they were created. You don't know what tools that they were using, and you may not even know that they're AI generated. So I think that's the issue going forward with that. Maybe other places like Creative Fabrica will need to then add to their terms that you need to state what tools you were using to create the AI images. For example, as of right now, you can upload any clip art to Creative Fabrica and just state that it's AI generated. You don't need to state how it was generated or where you generated it from. So I wonder how that's going to work when you're not actually producing those images yourself, but you're actually purchasing them from another third party and actually don't know that they're generated by AI anyway. So what am I going to do personally? What I'm actually going to do is just take a little step back and just watch and wait. I don't think I'm going to upload anything for a little bit. I'm just going to see how the land lies, see how other people do when they're uploading, and if they're uploading AI generated content, and their own experience and how Amazon actually responds to that. From what I can gather from this, it's just a way of them trying to regulate it and do extra checks just to cover themselves and to make sure that any books that are being uploaded are still going to provide a positive customer experience. So let me know in the comments what you're personally going to do. The fact they're asking this isn't to catch you out. You know, it's not like you're going to say that you've got some AI images in there and immediately they're going to cancel your book. That's not why they're asking this. And the fact that they've created this whole section, to me, indicates that they know that AI generated content is going to be here for the long term, and they're just trying to get on board with that and try and regulate it in some way, shape, or form. I would also recommend, though, that you do carefully check if you are getting clip art and things from Creative Fabrica, if you're getting it from Etsy, for example, that you check all of the fine print, that you check if they're AI. And if you suspect that the content is AI, I would just send a message to whoever it is, who's the artist or the creator of that content, and just double check if the images are AI generated. And they may not tell the truth to you either, so you do need to be cautious about that. But anyway, that's about all that I'm going to say about that for today. But let me know what you think in the comments and what you're going to do going forward. I have no doubt that a lot of changes will continue to happen, as the whole AI landscape does evolve, and obviously it is doing so at a crazy rate. So we'll just have to see what happens. So have a great rest of your week, and I will speak to you again very soon.